like Ray Daniels, you talk about it on Breakfast Club, you talk about it on my platform, on EYL, and it just reaches through when we start talking about the proper use of media, right? And the proper use of our platforms and our access and our celebrity, right? And so that's where these conversations turns into real action. And that's what you brothers and Timbaland has the power to do. And I would say when it comes to Timbaland, I think people see what you want to do with it. I just think that they look at it as you as an elite now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they say Tim is an elite, so I get what he can do with it, but how does that help me, right? So it's just one of those things, and I think the difference is it's just educating people on how they can do it the same.
Well,
and I think
I like that.
So here's go ahead, Tim. Go ahead.
I would say he's right, and I think that like I gotta cook. I gotta see what's out there. I can't. Y'all can't throw the stones. Let me cook, cause that's why I'm here. Like, what do you want? What do you want me to do? But don't stop me for cooking. Don't judge my cooking, my recipe. You ain't even taste the pie yet. Like, you don't even know what I'm gonna do. I just put something out there, headline. The headline really is for this.
Right.
In our culture, to have this conversation about AI as a whole.
Yeah. Right.
Because we're not talking about it and we're going to get left behind. I'm telling you.
That was my whole point, Tim. And stay with me, 19. And I'm just like, yo, okay, if consistently in our culture, we've seen, okay, the Giselle only has a certain defense against the lion, right? And we the lions. I'm going to give it to y'all straight. We the lions. So if consistently in nature, the Giselle can only just run from the lion, right? But eventually the Giselle be like, yo, I'm tired of running from this lion, and I create something called a gun, right? So I'm going to shoot this lion. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? We know that the Giselle is not physically as powerful as the lion. That's us. But now it's created a gun. And that's my reality that I deal with is like, yo, it's not trying to run from us no more. It's done created a gun where I take my lions and I shoot these motherfuckers. And not only do I do that, I take the male and the female and I put them together and I mate them and I build an electric fence around them so that no longer do I have to worry about them. Now that I can control them, I can just make their kids forget that they lions. You see what I'm saying? You see the analogy I'm trying to make? That's what I'm saying is like, how do we, now that we have all these lessons, and I've studied the greats, I've studied all of them. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, yo, this information is only but so good unless we can put it into practice in real time. So we could go back in history and study Booker T and Du Bois and all that and have our debates about, you know, who was right and who was wrong. But no, in real time, this is our real-time Booker T and Du Bois debate about what do we do? Do we go and make the institution, and nobody's saying Du Bois is wrong for writing his books, and he's expressing what he's doing, and Booker T is definitely not wrong, that's my man, for building an institution where we can study everything, but we look at it in a past tense, not understanding that we in current history right now. That's what I put on the tweet, Tim. I said, this is history right now. How do we move? We always debate and we talk about things that happened before us, but how would you move in that time? This is the time for us. That's why I said, if 19 Keys is my brother, if Timbaland is my brother, no, we not coming in here on, and again, we showing the young boys, this is building versus arguing. But how do we move where there's no clear answer? But we got to bring the whole community together, ask them what they want, ask them what my skill set is, ask them what Tim's skill set is, ask them what 19 Keys skill set is, and figure out how we move it. That's my point of being on here. It ain't about I'm right. It's about building. And how do we move? And Tim is the example of how we can move. So if the whole community say, Tim, we want you to move this way and talk to this man about this and get this from this, that's what I'm here for. That's my point. It ain't about just like who's smarter than who or who know more than who. No, how we move in this time right now. That's my point.
I agree with that.
I
I
agree with
think
that.
the model is setting up councils, right? And you have different people. You have a complex council, right? You have different people of different backgrounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have somebody that's an engineer, somebody that's a scientist, somebody that's in tech, somebody that's in legislation, somebody that's a futurist, technologist, right, etc. And then you say, okay, we trust these people. They represent our interest,
Right.
right? And these are the people that we are saying are going to shape the rules and the codes of how we interact with this technology. And so let's say if we had a council where it'd be like, all right, if the council doesn't stamp Suno as also, building the programming with the codes that we believe in, then it's not something that we suggest to our culture, right? But if it's another platform that say, man, we listen to the council, right? We took that into the programming, into the firmware, and then we built it based on that, then the culture can trust it, right? It's our version of putting our culture stamp on it. You feel me? Or
Mm-hmm.
the other thing is just saying that we build our own tools that represent us, that we own and we control completely, because it's about really creating parallel models. Because at this point in time, it's nobody to ask but ourselves what we want the future to be.
Right.
So you basically saying taking was like you gave two solutions, two suggestions. One, going in there, see if they speaking and changing it for the culture, and if not, building on top of what's there our own business.
Yeah.
I'm saying, Tim.
Well, I would say the latter.
I'm saying, Tim, not
I,
19. Let me get
I'm
this
just
off.
asking.
no,
I'm
go
just asking.
ahead.
Quick. I'm sorry to cut your wisdom. What I'm saying to you is that don't nothing move in that company unless you say it move and it's co-signed by the culture. And I'm saying we can go in and we can read, techno feudalism. I'm putting these up for the people. You know what I'm saying? This is books that I've read. We're not dealing with our grandparents' capitalism. We all understand, and 19 probably understand this as much as everybody. We're not dealing with our grandparents' shit, right? We're dealing with what's going on right now. I'm going in and I went to the bookstore today. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to buy this book and I'm putting it on the thing. Read that. I'm going to buy this book. And I'm saying read that. And once you read that, agree or disagree. I said a author earlier, Mogawat, right? Let's all go read these books. And let's come back a month later. I'm even willing to start a book club.
Hey man,
And not a book.
not only what we doing is talking about AI in the culture. That's what I sparked up. This is more like a
No, but Tim, I'm saying, let's read the background information.
I agree.
Start a book club, and then we all have the information, and then we come back and give our opinions, not on some who's smarter than who. Let's read this shit. Let's come back a month from now. Take notes. Go do the research, and so we not doing mental masturbation. A lot of times we do mental masturbation. We want to just, figure out who's smarter than who got more talking points, who got more of that. I'm not trying to one up you. I'm trying to figure this shit the fuck out. For real.
Hey, so let me ask you guys a question, right? Is there currently a group of mega minds that are coming together right now, putting their agendas together?
No.
And making things shift in the culture? Do these groups currently exist?
No.
So
not a mainstream group. There's some of us behind the scenes, I would say. You know what I mean? That move in that capacity. I'm gonna say this. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad once said, like, if I can do one thing, if I had the power of all the culture, essentially, I'm paraphrasing, what would he do? He would call all of the leaders and everybody together in one room to just get to know each other, right? And that's important to say because this is our first. I've met both of you all before, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we never built. You understand me? And so the problem is that we stay in our silos, right? Like I build with Rants all the time. I build with my homegirl Tech with X, right? We build on technology and AI, and we do a lot of things behind the scenes. And she actually writes a lot of legislation and things of that nature.
Yeah, that's she
So
hard. She nice.
Yeah, amazing. So those groups exist behind the scenes. Yeah. So those groups exist behind the scenes. It's more so, creating a bigger council so that there's more power, there's more investment. You understand me? There's more influence behind it. And then it has to be on this level to where we're not asking for nothing, we telling.
Yes.
You understand me? Because that's the age that we live in. Because at this point, power don't respect shit else but what you tell them.
Right.
Because they not playing no safe game. You understand me? They going completely radical and we acting like the world ain't on fire. We still trying to play it safe.
Right.
So the rules done erased, and we still playing by them. And that's why the rest of the world is looking at us like y'all don't even know. Like them rules don't matter no more. Y'all can do whatever y'all want to, but y'all still acting like there's a cage for the lions.
Mm-hmm. So this is what I.
But I'm also saying, this ain't about no media. This is about us getting in the room, doing the research, doing the reading. I'm not saying my opinion is the same as 19's opinion, the same as Timbaland's opinion. Again, I keep going back to this, that I'm showing the young boys that like me and Tim can have a difference of opinion, but that's my brother. I love him. Every thing that I put up was, I said love in the middle of it. I love this man. I've done work with this man. It's not about the money. It's not about the history that we've done. It's about for the young and next generation. I'm saying let's do the work. If I ask you to read 5 books in a month, read the 5 books for the kids. And let's come together and let's have a decision and let's figure out what we're going to do. And let's put your ego to the side and say, hey, maybe my opinion didn't win out. But for the betterment of the people, this is what we all decided on, and this is how we moving. And if 19 Keys got a bigger profile than Goo is over here worried about electronics and soldering, and I'm gonna teach you about atoms.
Hey,
and I'm gonna
Goo
teach you
is a
about
whole legend, man. Hey, down to the guru.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, so
we gotta move as a people. Whoever can get the message out, get the message out. And if we have to go to Washington and we have to get this legislation done. I don't care who get it done. It ain't about me.
Guru. Yeah, and I don't want to glance over this, right? Because with 19, what you're saying is right. And we met in Rand's studio, and we had a similar conversation not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago, right? And I was listening to y'all soaking up game even then. But like at the end of the day, what he's saying is accurate. And young guys like myself, we've been feeling like this for years. We've been having these conversations internally, like he said, in silos for years. But at the end of the day, you're attached to very influential individuals. So is Timbaland, so is 19, so is myself. If we're not actually trying to create this council, then we just having conversations.
No, and that's what I'm telling you, bro.
These separate conversations are not creating change. They're
not. You know why? Let me tell you. Let me keep that going.
I challenge us to try to actually manufacture this.
Yes.
This concept, we need to try to manufacture this.
You build it on what I'm talking about. You know why? Because we go to these conferences and we sit in these conferences and people give great speeches. I'm sorry. I got to say it the way I feel. I don't give a fuck about your speech, bro. Because we sit in these conferences and we don't do shit. It's really about after the conference. What are we building? You understand what I'm saying? So I can hear the inspiration. I'm 51 years old. I've been hearing these inspirational speeches since I was 12 years old.
Exactly.
What are we doing? What's the movement? So after the speech, after the conference, after all of these little things that we get together and talk and everybody want to sound attack. No, what's the movement? Put it together. I'm willing to put my life on the line for this shit. That's what I'm talking about. And then I also am like, fuck the internet when they coming at Tim and all. I understand it's clickbait. I don't make money off of what I put up on the internet. I don't. I make money from the love of the people for what I produce. And I refuse to let you go at my brother and be like, yo, fuck Tim and fuck this and that. No, it ain't fuck Tim. It's just a me saying to Tim like, yo, I disagree with what you talking about. So me and Tim can have a conversation. The same way that me and my homeboy can have a conversation. You see what I'm saying? But we need to present a unified front of understanding, of information. We've already done the research. We've already come in here and argued about it. And this is what we're doing. The same way 19 Keys said, we're not begging or asking, we telling. This is what we want.
When we're together.
That's what I'm on right now.
You can tell when you're together. When the message is clear across the boundaries, you can tell. But when it's divided, you can't. It's just whispers at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
And forget my passion and my loud talking, because that's how I feel right now. Right. I've been going to conferences too long where people go, yo, we need this. That's the populism I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But you know what, Guru? There's a lot of people not willing to put action behind it. So there's multiple pieces. There's a person that like rallies the people. Then there's the person that is the analyzer that can do the research and the data. right? Then there's a person that can like organize the information into frameworks. Then there's the executors. Then there's the financiers, right? And so what typically happens is, you know, within our culture, everybody wants to be on the stage and compete with the one who's giving the information when they're probably better behind the scenes, making sure that this get through the right channels and get through the right protocols to execute. So for me, it's like, because when I listen to you, I don't think there's anything wrong with the lectures per se, because I think you turned out amazingly well, and you've been listening to that good inspiration for a minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, but let me say
but to that point though, I'm just saying it like this though.
I'm the executor
Again,
to the financiers.
Yes, sir. And what I mean is that the problem with culture is that people always say we don't have culture sometimes, and I tell them don't say that. Is culture is consciousness in motion, right? It's complexity that brings it all together. It's our music, it's our media, it's our language, our spirituality, our economics, right? And you can grade each one of those whether they're high or low. You understand me? And the problem is sometimes we have a low culture and it feels like we have no culture. You understand me? But when it comes toward the events and the media that we espouse, right, there's nothing wrong with when there's the positive or the inspiration. The problem is that doesn't dominate. Therefore, does it turn into action? Because that's usually the outlier, not the normal. So my question becomes, well, oftentimes you either having a revolution or a renaissance. Revolution means you need an abrupt disruption of things. But a renaissance, right, is a reawakening, right, or a curation of more of that thing that's happening, right? So, like, with this, we would create a renaissance of these type of conversations because most of them are low-level conversations. So it's not the normalcy. It's just for you and Timbaland, right, and my brother, y'all are having high-level conversations all the time, but the rest of the world are having low-level, low-cognitive conversations, which is why there's not a lot of action behind it. Then you create, behind that, you do the research, right? That would be step 2. We come together, we build, we have somebody that's recording everything, then they say, okay, what's the wildest idea we could do, right? All right, now how do we get that done? Typically, you go to research groups. They run the data for you to see if this is possible. What could be the flaws in the armor of what we're trying to build? After that, therefore, it makes sure that whatever money you put up, you understand me, it has already been vetted. So it feels like a safer investment, right? So now you ready to go raise all the money in the world because you've done the vetting, you've done the research, and what we usually get stopped at is the research part. Because when we try things, right, we try it just off passion. But it's not based on having that real data. You think Robert Smith, when he wants to get a deal done, he's taking that over to a research firm. You understand me? To vet it out completely, so now it's investable. And so with the coaches, we have these conversations, and then we take it to the next stage, to the data scientists and to the those who are the experts. And then knowing when to play that role of, all right, who do we send out there to get the message across? Maybe we need 19 keys over there to say this. When he say this, I'm going to take this clip and then I'm going to run with it. That's going to spark the conversation. Then I'm going to go to my financiers like, look, man, look at what they talking about. This is what's in the culture. This is what everybody talking about right now. You understand? They like, bet. I want to, number one, y'all know like I know, most of them cats be around y'all just want to be cool. And the only way that they can have value is if they're bringing some money into the room. Because otherwise, you look at them as men and say, there's no reason for me to know you. Right? This is how black men typically able to exploit rooms, you feel me, get investment and make execution. The problem is behind the scenes there's not enough organization.
That's my point, is that they're exploiting you.
So then,
I would say that for us, let's do this behind the scenes as far as we can continue to have the conversations in front, and then behind the scenes is just where all the action happens. But in front, the people need to hear this as well because we need to normalize these conversations also in their social groups.
Yep.
You understand me? And if we're not telling people what we need or what's on our mind, there's somebody right now listening like, man, I can put all that together tonight. You feel me?
But listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. You understand what I say when I say populism? So
100%.
That's like somebody saying, yo, idea, right?
Yeah,
like,
Donald Trump is a populist president.
We need, yeah, of course. We're not even going to that level because that's, you know what I'm saying, all the way over there. I'm saying to the point of somebody could say, yo, we need free healthcare. We need free breakfast clubs. We need free teaching. We need free education. Okay, we already know that, bro.
And then that's when you do the research to say
listen
what models work.
I know why the cage bird sings. I'm talking about getting the bird out the cage. I don't need another poem to tell me why the cage bird sings. I know it. I'm about to get to it. And when I get to it, the problem is that everybody want to be on the stage. I don't care about being on the stage. I don't care about if you know my name is there. I'm trying to get the bird out the cage. So when I really talk about that, they worried about being on the next stage. That's my problem. And every time.
Yeah, because I don't think most people are not really trying to make change. So again, either you gonna make it a thing to where people are buying in because it benefits their pockets, or people are doing it because they're passionate about impact. Depends on who you going to. If you're going to people that's passionate about impact, then they gonna help build because they want to see the results. If people that just want to look like they're doing results so that they can exalt themselves, then yes, they need to be on another stage because they already got everything that they want. They pure capitalists. They don't care about it unless it's gonna benefit their image that they can leverage for more money. So you play both sides for however, you understand me, their ego stands. Me, I'm just one of them individuals where it's like, shit, I've been doing this front of the culture for years, right? We do everything organic, we do everything independent, and we finance everything ourselves so far. It's not the best model in the world, you understand me? But it's what we have to do because the way the world currently exists is that everybody is on their individual only. This is now a conversation to say, okay, well, we ain't on that. We want to share resources, access, information, and organization so that we can get to some alignment so that we can start moving together going forward.
Yeah, and I'm saying that I don't care who say it. If it's 19 Keys that bring it, if me and Tim can sit down and go, yo, let's show the culture that me and him had a disagreement about this AI shit. We came together,
Yes, sir.
we sat down, and we made a decision, and 19 Keys is the person that gives it to the world. I don't care who delivered the message. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't think the message is even the important part. It's just the overall strategy.
Yeah.
I got the strategy.
Yeah, it's the conversation in general.
Man, we got to make a group chat.
Let me ask you, Timbaland, though, what from this whole entire build and conversation that's being had, you know, from before you got on here till now, you know what I mean? What is the one thing that you took away in perspective?
Is what you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you gotta sacrifice yourself to start a conversation that people don't want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like threw this idea of my creation, and people saw the word record label, which that's not happening. It's not that. They saw artists, and they're like, damn, you gonna work with an algorithm and make a whole pop star? No. I'm doing something bigger. I just know that people know that I come from music, so you know they know music gonna be a part of that. But no, I'm looking at Journey. I mean, Mid Journey, VO3, all these things that came out to allow me to build this creation that I never could do on my own terms, and figure out a way to not just build something that's fun, but we got to build corporations like they building corporations. Mm-hmm. And what are we doing with this? Like, what are we going to do? Yeah, we got these tools, but put this way, there's a group of photographers that take pictures, and when AI started coming out with this stuff, they said, you know what, guys, we need to form a company and go get a raise for this company and go outsource these people to do this so we can make infomercials. And I'm saying, like, see, that's how we gonna get left out the picture. Like, these tools are built, yeah, we can go in there and change it, but what are we building on top of them? You understand? Like, we built, like when we started Versus, and which, by the way, is coming back. We started that.
Shout out to Swiss. Shout out to my brother Swiss.
Yeah. So when Versus, we couldn't have the time to go build an app, but what was built for us to go get this idea off so we can go somewhere else. We brought it back. We did tremendous things off of an idea on somebody else's IP to build our own IP. And I think the model of today is, yeah, I'm gonna go in and speak and say what we need, but we need to, as a unit, start building IP, not being the product. We need to be the enterprise. We need to take these tools and build out a whole infrastructure. Whether we hiring the writers complaining in Hollywood, man, I ain't got no right. Well, guess what? We got to use these tools. You see now the Bigfoot Yeti. Those guys are going to build all this content while we sitting here complaining about all this stuff. But these tools are here for us to build.
Mm-hmm.
These tools are us for to build our organization on how we see it. Is there a lot of things that got to be changed? Yes, I'm willing to go in there and speak. But what are we going to do in the meantime?
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
What we gonna build in the meantime? Is it this language model? Is this what are we building on these platforms? Don't tell me I can't build out a world. Y'all just looking at artists. I wouldn't. No, my first love is working with the independent artists. But as me, Timbo, as I'm older now, I'm always fascinated about these technology too. So I'm like, yo, I will go this way. I will go this way. Now I know there's problems. I know there's this. Right. That's why we up here having this AI talk. But don't condemn my creativity because you don't know what I'm trying to build. I'm saying, yo, we can go hire this director. He going through it, but he can go build this on VO3. You got Flow. All these technology companies I be posting on my page. We need Black people are the most creative people in the world. And we not building stuff, and all we do is gonna complain, but we ain't gonna build nothing on top of this? Come on, bro. Like, T Grizzly right now ain't rapping because he figured out a way to build a server on GTA 6, oh, not 6, but the new GTA, and build out a character and build a gaming world. He's making $50,000 a week. Like, bro, think about that. That could never be imaginable. But he said, you know what? I ain't gonna complain. You could build servers. You can do this. It's a lot of things we can do on top of these tools.
And it's a false thing for me too, Tim, where I'm like, that's supposed to be on the companies that we own. I own Collimation. I own, you know what I'm saying, a company that does 360 AR, VR. You know what I'm saying? But again, it took us to be like on an argument to be like, yo, go own a company that does this? Yeah, I do.
So now I'm going, and you got this, you own this type, but you build something on top. You ain't complaining. You said, God dang it. Why I'm complaining? I'm going to build this on top of that.
Right.
Just in case my thought don't go through. Right. Why I'm goddamn sacrificing myself? Okay, you go sacrifice yourself and don't have nothing?
No, and it's remiss on my part because I got the illest dudes in LA that could build out your AR and your VR.
That's what I've been looking for.
It's not a commercial. It's just
I need to lock in on that.
That's what I've been looking for.
Keys is talking about. Yeah.
Look, because you said something important when you talked about world building. That's what I focus on. I don't like building. I don't market. I don't brand. I world build. And right now, you have the greatest tools to do it. Where at first, only multimillionaires and billionaires and big studio execs could do that.
Yeah.
Right. So now, as the artist, I know a lot of artists. I always say a lot of artists are lazy. I will say that because they put all their creativity into music and they think that's the end of it. The end is not till somebody is in your world.
Exactly.
Right. But your ability to world build is now a lot less expensive. It requires time and creativity.
Exactly.
So you can build out characters. You can build out the archetype. You can build out the world. You can build out the colors, the LUT, right? The sound engineering to it, right? You can literally build out a whole entire world that is in connection to your music. And the music becomes a ticket to your world. Because the music is no longer being consumed like we did when we had a cassette tape or we had a CD. You would listen to the music walking down the street. You didn't have a phone to distract you. Now the music is background noise, right? So now they can be wearing your clothes, right? They can be taking in your products, right? They watching your videos. They listening to it. It's a soundtrack to the world you're building. Like, that's what I've been working with Rance on is like, as I've been working on that album, and we just been working on what does that world look like that it exists in, right? And you kind of go, what is your favorite movies? What is the nostalgia that you want to bring back? And I think what Black people have been starved of is seeing our imagination being fed, right? When we see movies like Sinners, he built a world for us where the music tied us into it. Where you see a show like Forever where it was about Black love, but there was no trauma. Incredible show. But think about why that felt so good to us because we've been starved of it.
Yeah. So that's called strategic. 19, stay there. Keep your
Yo, Swiss, check your DMs.
Yes, sir.
That thing of Forever, right? I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, when's the last time that I've seen a show?
Swiss, check the DM. Check the DM. Swiss gonna come. Swiss coming in here.
Oh, bring my brother in. Yeah, bring my brother in. But 19, I was saying, when's the last time I seen a show? You know, and again, you know what I'm saying? Like that show, a Black man with his wife, they together, and they raising the kids. I'm gonna tell her when she need to be quiet. She gonna tell me when I need to be quiet. We both get this united front to our children because again, I'm trying to advise my children. You know what I'm saying? Because now they getting to an older age. My oldest is about to be 30. You know what I'm saying? Like all those things. And my youngest is about to graduate from school, but it's just like this beauty of watching this man, and we give it to Wood Harris. Like it's like, yo, he's killing this role. And the sister that wrote it. You know what I'm saying? Let's not forget her.
Incredible.
But, incredible. But that's what we need more of. So if it comes to a point where we find the young people, you know what I'm saying? And if don't nobody say it, I'ma say it. Like, this is what we need to do for all of our fashion people. Baseline was on 26 between 6th and 7th. It's no reason why we begging somebody else. Go down to the end of that block, find a young person that's the illest in fashion, and let's build their brand up. That's what I'm on right now. Find the person that's the illest in making movies, get them to James Samuel, you know what I'm saying, and build their brand up. Find the person that can make music. Find the young people that's into what I'm into and they want to make electronics. Bring them to me, and I'm going to show you everything about electrons and neutrons and protons. Like, that's my science. And I'm going to also tie it into what the Dogon is doing, and we can, you know what I'm saying, like on our levels. I'm just saying all those levels is what we need to be doing for us with these conversations. So that, for me, that's what really higher level conversations is about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There he go. He got and
shout out to the God.
My brother. Zone.
Man, this has been a great conversation. You know, I love that it takes for my brother to make an announcement to get our people together and actually speak, because we don't speak enough. We complain a lot, but we don't speak enough. You understand? We hate a lot, but we don't love enough. We like each other, but we don't love each other. And we got to love each other more. You understand? We like each other, but we don't love each other. And just watching this, I don't. Tim is into the technology way more than me. He's been into AI before open AI, and I've watched this man be ahead of his time. Even if you look at back what he did with Missy and all of the technology stuff with what they was doing together, he's a genius in his own way. And I just think that we got to have patience with each other. We got patience with them white people. We don't got patience with each other. You understand? We let them people do all the big announcements. We don't understand nothing they talk about, but it just feels big and we just going with it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't understand Tim's announcement myself. You understand? We partners in another company, but I didn't like the way the rollout went out. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. You understand? But this man has been honorable since the 90s with his character, his music, and his intentions, right? So people got to sit back for 5 minutes and say, wait a minute, that's Timbaland. That's not like some culture vulture outside just doing anything, you know? And Tim, when I look at it, like when people talking about all of these AI companies that we don't own none of technically, you know, it's an entry point for him to get in, and it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And these conversations are going to be the conversations that lead us to the finish line. But at least he's jumping in the ring, right? I don't understand what's going on with the company, and this is my partner. You understand? But I trust him enough to know, like, yo, if Tim, this is what he's doing, this is what we riding with. And if he need help, everybody here going to help him. And this is why the conversation is key. We don't speak to each other, but when them other people doing it is genius. When we doing it, we sold out. When we doing it, we canceling creativity. No, this man is of creativity. You know, and so when I look at these different things, I'm just like, man, us as people have to have patience with each other, especially the righteous ones. You know what I'm saying? You don't see Tim on no bullshit time and no media, no social media outlet ever. Tim don't even go outside like that. I mean, like he's in his craft on that computer, showing people every single day on his IG new talents. Why are we not talking about the new talent that he's showing on his IG every day? Ain't nobody talking about that. This man, Timbaland, goes live every single day showing new talent. He ain't going live every day showing AI. He going live every day to this day showing new talent. But ain't nobody talking about the new talent, but everybody want to go on because he want to invest in AI because that's what he really fuck with. I don't respect that because like we're gonna keep the same energy on everything. You understand? Ain't nobody talking about Tim goes live. Tim, when how
5
many
years.
times a week you go live?
5 years been going live.
3 days out the week, 5 years been doing it.
Ain't nobody. Where's the headlines on that? Showing people new talent every day. So if he want to go into AI, fuck it, let him go into AI because I see him doing more things for the up and coming artists every day. Not even as a business, you know what I'm saying. So this is where we got to bring it together and be a part of all of it, not just a part of something that my thing is like when they don't scream, it's not big enough. When they're not hollering and yelling, it's not big enough. So he obviously got something that's big because it done shook the industry. In many years, we haven't seen Tim's name like this since we started Versus. And it's all because we don't understand. It's all because we don't understand the mission. Now, I will say, Tim, I think that you and your team with this can explain the mission more. And that's what I love about this conversation, because you're allowed to explain your mission more. I wish that this conversation would have happened before the announcement, because people would have had something more to grab to and have a more educated conversation than it coming out like you're taking over human jobs with AI.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's not what you're doing.
No, I know, but at least it got this conversation right here, so it worked out pretty good.
Let me
say this real quick.
Scapegoating that happens.
We say 19?
19, I don't want to step on your
Nah,
brother.
I was just saying, it's what usually happens when you close enough for people to connect with you and touch you, they scapegoat you instead of the people that they don't see, right? We know that there's people that will never tell us their agendas that are behind closed doors that you never see. When we know that those are the people that affects our lives way more. So celebrities and people that's close public figures get scapegoated as if you're the problem, but it's really just because you close. It's the fact that you actually are doing something for the people that people have so much criticism because they know you were here. You understand me? But what both of y'all brothers is doing, what all of y'all are doing, when it comes to music, when it comes to art, what you doing with Swiss, which is beautiful. You understand me? We figuring out what is the evolution of the culture. You understand me? What is our revolution and where is our renaissance?
The evolution and the revolution of the culture is us fucking with each other, which we don't.
Yes.
You understand? We don't fuck with each other, man. That's like we gotta stop playing around. We don't like each other.
I invite all y'all brothers to have some coffee with me and Bill.
I want to jump in here and say this real quick, y'all. People don't know this, but I've known Swiss since he was 18 years old. St. Mary's Project.
You know me since 15 years old. You know me since I'm 15. 15. I wasn't a millionaire when you know me. I was poor.
So when people bring these things up, it's like, yo, this is brothers talking to each other, and that's why I led with love. And that's why I said, yo, everything that I posted, I was like, yo, I love you. And when Tim called me today and was like, yo, we're going to get on the live, we're going to explain this, I said, bro, I'm with you. You know why? Because you got a company with my brother. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that we need the kids to see that we could build. This is building sessions. This is not arguing. This is building. I didn't understand some things. So I said I need to talk to Tim.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
Yeah.
That was the reality of it. So that we could get some clear understanding on what's going on so we know how to move forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Swiss is my brother. I would die for Swiss. Swiss is my brother. People need to understand that. This is the thing that needs to happen when they say, yo, why you ain't call and check your brother? No, it's not about checking my brother. I'm asking questions so I can get a full understanding on what's going on. And then we know how to move. That's all I wanted to say.
And you allowed to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, at the end of the day, we just have to communicate more in a time of celebration. We don't even celebrate each other anymore. We don't get each other cards. We don't call people on Wednesday to see how you doing. Like these are the small things that we gotta do before we fight the revolution. We not ready for the revolution. We don't even say what's up to each other. Fuck is we talking about? You understand? And these are the things that I don't like because we move the envelope on everything. Anything from fashion to music, technology, they base it off of what do our people think. They know the power of us, but we got to know the power of us. And the power of us is on this phone call right now with people watching and understanding that we can get together in a time of not understanding and build to understand and to teach at the same time. This is an educational phone call. This ain't no hate. This ain't no bullshit. And that's why I was like, you know what? Tag me in because I feel love here. And you know, we go so much of the negativity because of the algorithms of the technology that we own. It pushes the negativity in our culture. Now, if you log on to the same uh, social media platforms around the world, there's a lot of educational things going on. It's not the negativity that we see here in America against each other, you know. And I think the main message that I'm saying is we got to really, really fuck with each other more as people. You know what I'm saying? We quick to jump on each other's back when something going down. But y'all not congratulating Tim on he's breaking new artists 3 days a week. I don't hear nobody giving him praise for none of that. No Rolling Stone, no this, no that. Where's that at? You understand? I just don't like if we're gonna do it, let's do it all the way. Let's not just do it because some shit that people can't understand and the people feeling this way, man. Fuck all that shit. This man has been promoting for 5 years new up and coming artists, and I ain't seen an article on that yet. Because of us, we forget what the other people talking about. We not supporting him on that. We got to support Tim on that, and we got to support each other on things that each other are doing, not just those highlight moments. Oh, Tim is tripping, he's selling out. Boom, because we went through that with Versus, but people don't know what we went through for Versus. You understand? We was the first responders in a pandemic. You understand? Did a merger into another company called Triller because we wanted to give artists percentage of the company. Did that, bought our company back for 21 million, and we own it now again 100%. People don't know what that took. You know what I'm saying? They just thought, oh, Versus sold out. No, we allowed to do business. Black people can't do business. Business is built to businesses are made to be built and sold. We celebrate them other people that don't look like us when they do that. Like, damn, I'm trying to get like that. But when we do it, we sell out because we sold a business. But we ain't really sell a business. All we did was sold Def Jam and became an owner of a Vendy.
They drop the bills. Drop the bills.
Drop the bills. Talk.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We just became the biggest owners in Vivendi, and then brought Versus back from Vivendi and said, listen, we back on our square.
Back on
Because
it big time.
we allowed to make mistakes. Why we gotta be so perfect? Them people outside ain't perfect.
Right.
Like look at the Verses that's happening right now with the president and E. That's the biggest.
That's the biggest Versus right now.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
But we gotta be so perfect or our own people crucify us. We gotta have more patience with each other. And that's what that's all I'm saying. Like, yo, when we do something, we do it for real, like from our heart. I never play
Hey,
around
Swiss, what you saying about being so perfect, we also got to be able to talk to our brothers and question our brothers without attacking. And I said, this is the difference between disrespect and building. This is the difference between arguing and building. We build all day. Let's build more. Let's not disrespect each other.
We need to build more. But we also need, and that's why I love that you showed the books. And I don't mean to take over the conversation, Kings.
Nah, take over.
You showed the book.
Big BX.
Yeah, big BX. But when you showed the books, which equal the knowledge, this is what we got to double down on is the education. Because Tim might say some prolific things, or you guys might say some prolific things, but the people don't understand because they're not doubling down on their education. Like our education as a community got to level way up. You understand? And the reason why people are confused because they're not educated. So they don't know what a merger is. They don't know what an IPO is. They don't know all these things. All they see is Tim and Swiss or Guru or 19 or this one that sold this and did that. Oh, you sold some? That means sold out. No, we sold in. We sold in. You understand? We don't sell out. I ain't never sell out in a day in my life. Sell out for what? We who we really are. Tim is really Tim. I'm really me. Y'all really y'all. Sell out for who? It ain't enough money to sell out. My kids look at me every day with respect. Imagine selling out and going to your kid's graduation. And I don't even know how to do it. We sold in to an idea of a company that raised 1.9 billion versus didn't have an evaluation because we gave it to the people for free. Now y'all want to flip on us because y'all not educated and understanding why we went to Triller on that evaluation, which gave us an evaluation to give all of the 40-some artists ownership in that company and Triller as an evaluation. These are well thought out plans. These are not freestyles. And me and Tim gave the artists ownership in those companies with our personal money. 18 million to be exact. But people don't know, so they're gonna crucify, and people want change and just don't know how to accept it. And so this is why education is important, and we gotta push that because the less we educated, the more we're gonna be ignorant. You understand? We saying a lot of ignorant shit. We tearing down the wrong people because the masses is not educated, so they don't understand chess. They playing checkers and skelsies. We playing grandmaster chess. Because this goes for the generations. You know, I'm happy that Tim is into AI because all the white people in it. Why we can't get in it? I don't care how you. It's not how you start. It's how you finish. So if this is Tim entry point into AI, whether we like it or not, it's an entry point. Now we can go in the house and rearrange the furniture. You know, but we have to communicate with our community. If we don't communicate with our community, then we can't expect them to understand what we're doing. And so that's the only thing that I would critique is that we could have communicated this a little better, Tim, to the people because that's a hell of an announcement. When I seen the people hit me, I'm like, God damn, I ain't speaking to Tim about this. I ain't, Tim is me. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? He is on
Courtney ain't tell
I would
you.
have gave him a couple I would have gave him a couple of different things to go about it.
I'm surprised Courtney ain't call you.
Nah, I respect you as your own boss. Like, but we can always communicate.
That's true. That's true.
Our people are delicate and we have to be patient with our people because they act like they know, but they really don't know. And we got to understand that a lot of people don't really know. They faking. They don't know. They ain't been to school. They ain't got the money to pay for the school. The system